In this video, I'll show you how you can easily create configurations for your Rust program through environment variables, a JSON, TOML or YAML file using the config crate. To see why this video is important, I will give a brief recap of my last video, which was on how to use environment variables in a Rust program. I demonstrated how you can list your environment variables in a .env file and then load the variables to your program using the .env crate. I also showed how you can include additional env files for different environments. We had one for development, production, and local. I then added a variable in the .env file which I named app.env. With the app.env variable, you can state the environment you are in, and in the program, if the variable exists, I load the variables contained in the file for that environment into the program. Above the main function, you can see I imported a static variable called config. After loading the environment variables using .env, I printed the config to the terminal. The config is created from the environment variables loaded in the program. When I run the program, you can see the config contains the environment variables declared in the .env file. The config variable is created using lazy static and it's a pointer to an instance of the config struct. Inspecting the config struct, you can notice that for any new environment variable I add to an env file, I will need to add a field for that in this struct. In the FromEnv method, I will also need to capture the new environment variable and do the passing and error handling before including the field and its value in the instance of the config. There is a crate in Rust that makes this one step easier. If I use the config crate, I will only need to add a field for the new environment variable. It handles the capturing of environment variables and any error related to missing variables or converting the string from the variable to the desired type. With the config crate, you can create a configuration struct from variables, not only from the environment but also a TOML, JSON and YAML file. I will begin this video by installing the config and Serde crate and show you how you can create a config from the variables using the config crate. The config can be loaded with variables from the environment or from a file. I will show you how to do that with the environment source first. After that, I will explain the Deserialize Trait from Serde and how you can include nested structs and enums in your config. Lastly, I will explain how you can create a config from a file source. To show you how you can use this crate and simplify the config in your program, I will begin by adding the config and Serde crate into the program. I will also include the drive feature from Serde. The config will take care of creating a config from the source, while the Serde crate will handle the passing of variable types from the source to the config struct and any error that can be encountered during the process. So let's get rid of the config error enum and the implementations of the config struct. The config crate has a config struct which will be needed. To avoid conflict with their names, I will rename the config struct to app.config. I will set the config variable to be an instance of the app.config struct. Now from the config crate, import the config, environment and file struct. The config struct will be used to create a configuration using the data from either the environment source, the file source or both. The environment struct will be used to capture the environment variables in the program, while the file struct will be used to load data from a file into the configuration. Instead of the FromEnv method, we use the builder method. This returns an instance of the config builder struct. The config builder comes with an add source method which will be used to add a source for the configuration. I will start by using the environment variables as a source for the configuration. To do that, create an instance of the environment struct by calling its default method. I will assign this instance to a variable which I will name env source. Using the add source method of the config builder struct, add the env source by placing it as the argument to the add source method. This captures all environment variables in the program. Now I will call the build method after the add source method. The build method creates an instance of the config struct but wrapped in a result enum. If the build method encountered an error while creating the config, then we call the panic macro and pass in the error in its parameter. This will terminate the program and print the error to the terminal. It is now time to convert the instance of the config struct into the app config struct. To do this, I will use the try deserialize method of the config struct. But this requires the app config struct to implement the Deserialize trait. Therefore, import the Deserialize trait from Serde and implement it on the app config struct using the drive macro. The app config struct contains the AWS config struct. Therefore, I will need to implement the Deserialize trait on it as well. The config variable here is a result enum, so I will unwrap the method to get the instance of the config struct from the result, and then call the try deserialize method on it. I will assign this to a new config variable. The try deserialize method returns a result enum containing the converted resource. So how does the try deserialize method know which type we wish to create from the config? Well, if I remove the return value of this code block and add a to-do macro, you can see I get an error saying that type annotations are needed. I will then need to specify the type on the try deserialize macro using the turbofish syntax. The try deserialize method now creates an instance of the app config struct using the config. I will now remove the to-do macro and uncomment the return value for this code block. Remember that the try deserialize method returns a result enum containing the converted type. I unwrapped the config variable and set it as the return value for this code block. I also specified that the return value should be an instance of the app config struct. With this, the try deserialize method has enough information to understand that the type we wish to convert into is the app config struct. Therefore, I can now remove the app config struct from the try deserialize method. The try deserialize method can encounter an error while creating an instance of the app config struct from the config. When this occurs, I will terminate the program using the panic macro and add the error as its argument. Let's try to run this program and see what happens. When I run the program, it panics with an error saying that the AWS field is missing. If I check the .env file, you can see that the AWS variables are included. The problem here is the separator. The config needs to have knowledge of what symbol or token separates an environment variable belonging to a nested field. In the config module, we have the app config struct, and this contains an AWS field which is a nested struct. In the AWS config struct, we have the access key ID and the secret access key fields. In the .env file in the AWS section, I need to split the AWS part and the rest of the string using a unique token that will be used to separate every other nested field. I will use a dot in this case since I haven't used a dot anywhere else. Back to the config module after the default method on the environment struct. Call the separator method and specify your separation token, which is a dot in my case. When I run the program again, this time it runs successfully and you can see the app config struct printed to the terminal. As a bonus in this section, I want to show you how you can easily pass environment variables into enums. Using enums, you can restrict a variable to only accept a predefined set of values. Let's assume for the app-env variable, you only want to accept a fixed selection of strings as its value, and the only accepted values are local, dev, and production. To do this, create a public app-env enum and drive the debug and deserialize trait on it. Add local, development, and production as its variants. In the app_config struct, add a public env field and set its type to app_env. In the .env file, the app_env was set to production, so when I run the program, you can see production as the app_env. Now let's change the app_env to a different value and run the program. We get an error saying that the app_env enum does not have the variant that was given to the app_env variable. With the config crate, you can not only read variables from the environment but also a file. The format of the file can be JSON, TOML or YAML. To demonstrate this, let me create a file called config.toml. Here I'll add a settings table and include these three fields under it. To include the content of the config.toml file into the program's configuration, I will create a public struct called settings and include the fields from the table. I will then implement the debug and Deserialize Trait through the drive macro. In the app config, I will include a field for the settings. To add a file source, using the file struct, call it with name method and pass in the path of the file. You can skip the file format if no other file has the same name and path. I will add the file source to the config using its add source method, and when I run the program, you can see the settings field in the config. If I remove the config.toml file and run the program, I get an error saying that the configuration file config was not found. You can make a file source optional by calling its required method and passing false as its argument. In the settings field of the app config, I will now wrap the settings struct in an option enum. When I run the program, it compiles successfully and the settings field of the app config struct is none. That is all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.